this video, we're going to go over the massive collection of vintage and analog sounds that have been collected by UVI. Hey guys, it's JP. Welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before and you want to learn all about music tech and looping, then start now by clicking the subscribe button, hit that bell, and you won't miss anything. So UVI have brought out Synth Anthology 3. This is a massive collection of hardware synthesizers that have been expertly programmed all into one easy to use workstation. I love the idea of having true analog synthesizers, but it would clutter my entire house having all of those synthesizers here. Plus some of them are quite expensive. So how does 132 different hardware synthesizers sound for £150? Some synthesizers you wouldn't normally be able to get your hands on, but UVI have expertly programmed, individually sculpted, multi-sampled and mastered to perfection these 132 synthesizers. And there's something unmistakable when you're playing a real synthesizer. There's a distinct character and there's a distinct energy. Synth Anthology 3 promises to deliver that with an uncompromised hardware sound, all with the convenience of modern hardware technology. So today I'm going to go through some of the sounds on this and show you what it looks like and show you how you can integrate it into your workflow. Now to get up and running, the first thing you need to do is get the UVI portal. This is where you can install and unlock the sounds that you've bought. Once you've downloaded UVI Portal, you'll see UVI Workstation. Now this is an instrument and it's a unified instrument that you can add any banks to. Now Synth Anthology 3 is a huge download. It's over 13 gigabytes in size, so just be prepared for that. I had to download it overnight because of the speed of my broadband at home. But once it's there, you just need to authorize it and you use iLock to do that. And once that's authorized and you use it, it's ready to go and it's installed into your system. Now we can quit UVI Portal. And then what we should see is now UVI Workstation. Now UVI Workstation is a blank canvas that you can use as a standalone device. And it just says at the top here, UVI Workstation. You've got a little folder, you've got double click to open the browser, main or multi, and then the sound. So let's just drop this down a little bit. Underneath here, you can see it's got part A. You've got 4 parts for potentially each ones, and you've got multis. You've also got effects and add effects parts in, and you've got an ARP as well. So I'm just going to double click on here. And we've got sound banks. Now, it's got a Falcon preset tool because you can get the Falcon as well. What I really like about the way this works is they've sorted it out by a couple of different ways. So first of all, you've got things like classic analogs, modern analogs, analog modeling, FM and formats, wave and digital, vector synthesis, addictive, PCM-based synth, sampling, and then sorted by category or sorted by machine. So if you know what machine you want, you can have a look at that. So let's just go into that one. So if you go into there, give that a double click, you can see all the different machines there that they have sampled, and there is a huge amount there. There's some that I wouldn't be able to get my hands onto. So I've had things like the Korg Triton in the past, and there's a couple of sounds in there that I like. And then I'd have to buy a Triton again to get that in. It's here. It's fantastic. There's a couple of other ones here. There's Oberheims. There's some really, really lovely ones here. So there's all these different ones, and it takes ages to get through. You've even got things like Teenage Engineering on here, which I really like. You've got a load of Yamaha stuff as well. And then you've got the Clavies, you've got the Alesis, you've got all kinds. So there's loads of different synthesizers on here. And I'm just going to pick one, give it a double click, and then it loads it up. So there's loads of presets here. Let's have a look at one of them. So I'm just going to go onto one called Canyoning, and then what I'm going to do is give that a double click. This will load up all the different parts for it, and as you can see here, there's a couple of different things. Now what I like about this is the user interface. It's really simple and it's the same no matter which keyboard you use. There's a couple of different things for different keyboards. Pretty much it's the same look. So the first part is the oscillator. So we've got here the main, you can see that there. We've got the Korg MS-20, we've got a nice little volume and pan, and we've got the sub there as well. And we've got a main and sub, and we've got an ADSR for the amp and an ADSR for the filter. We've also got cut, res, velocity, and depth. And we've got the full keyboard at the bottom there with the pitch wheel and the mod wheel. Moving down a step is edit, and the main edit, we've got the pitch, where we can play with the octave and the depth. We've also got stereo, we've got alt, and we've got uni, and we've also got mod wheel, like the mod wheel rate, the filter rate, and the drive. With step, you've got basically a way of doing multiple steps. This is on 4, I can just drag this up and down and move it to 5, 6, 7, up to 16. You've got the 16th, 8th, You've got loads of different times for speed. You've got the delay, the rise, and the smoothness. Next, you've got LFO, and you can see there we've got the speed, and then you've got LFO sync, which is really useful if you know you've got a BPM that you're working towards, and you've got some modulation going on, you want it in time. That's really, really useful. Next, you've got effects, and some of these effects will turn on, turn off, depending on what you want. So we've got things like equalizer, we've got a reverb there, some delay, we've got phase, we've got bit crusher, and you can turn these on and off and have a play with them. And finally, we've got an ARP here, so we can actually have the main ARP. And to turn it on and off, you just click it. And we've got one there for the sub as well. You can quite clearly see how things are worked out, and it's really, really nice and big and easy to understand. Now, the UVI Workstation has 3 elements to each thing. We've been in edit the entire time. This also has effects. These are the effects that are inside, and you can start playing around with them. And then the other thing as well is ARP, and it has its own ARP on top of the one that's inside the synthesizer. So you might not use the one inside the synthesizer because maybe it's only affecting one modulation, but you want it to affect the entire sound. And this is a really, really clever move. Everything we've been doing so far is on one synthesizer, and this is the Korg MS-20. You can see there it says main, and we've actually got multi. So we can actually go into here and add on other synthesizers. So we can just click the plus button. We've got an empty one there. If I give that a double click, I can bring in another synthesizer. This is massively powerful because I can start bringing in a multi-synth over different kinds of synthesizers that we've got throughout the years. So you could actually marry something that's really modern with something that's from the 70s and have a different sound for it. The really nice thing about that as well is you can change the volume, the pan, the OGs, where it's coming out of, and even the settings, so we could actually have one synthesizer on this half, another synthesizer on this half. Now, in order to get those synthesizers working together, there's one thing you need to do, and that's actually changed its position. So we're on A1 for the KMS canyoning. I've just brought another one in very quickly, which is the Koto guitar, and if you click on here, we can change it to Omni. Now, if I change it to Omni, both will sound together no matter which one you're on. However, you may want to split them up so you play it together, but then also you record it on 2 different MIDI channels, so then you might want to tweak it a little bit later. So you can do that. You can change it over to an A bank, and there's a B and a C and a D bank, and they've got 16 channels, which is your MIDI channels, no matter what you want to do. So 132 different synthesizers, all meticulously programmed and calculated for the algorithms and all to use on your DAW whenever you like. It's £149. That is cheaper than the cheapest synthesizer that's in here, and you've got access to over 100 of them. Some of them, as I said before, I'd never be able to get my hands on. So have a look at UVI and the Synth Anthology 3. They do a couple of other products as well and some really great synthesizers. Check them out. The link is in the description box below. If you have found the content of this video useful, then please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me and it helps the channel grow. If you want to support me a little bit further, you can do. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. Buy me a coffee helps this channel stay alive, and to those who have already done so, thank you very much. There is also a membership version of Buy Me a Coffee as well. Have a look at that on buymeacoffee.com. All the links for Buy Me a Coffee and where you can get UVI's Synth Anthology 3 are in the description box below. Thank you very much for watching. Happy playing, and we'll see you on the next one.